So, here's another question that comes up from time to time. And I can remember the first time I was asked this, and I was literally blown away. It was also by a close friend who had been in my very first class that I taught. She said, I don't need my CMP anymore. How can someone not need their CMP anymore? How can you go through all of that and not want to keep your CMP? In her particular case, she was coming up for recertification, if I remember right, her second one. So she had had it 10 years at that point. She was a leader in the industry, but was looking at moving out and beginning to make steps toward moving into a different career path, not related. And I said to her, I said, Chris, do me a favor. Recertify this time, and in 5 years, if you still think you don't need it, then let it go. And in 5 years, she was in a completely different line of work, no plans on going back, and still hasn't, all these years later, gone back into the meetings and events industry. So she did let it go. But I can't tell you how many other people I know who have let it go. And recently, I just had 2 conversations come up. I was doing an information session on the CMP and everything it takes to get it, et cetera, and I had someone in my class who had earned the CMP many years ago. I don't know if it was 10 or 15. And she said, I went into another industry and I never thought I was coming back, and I let it go. And now she's looking at sitting again for the exam, which is completely different. The material, the style, everything. So really she's starting from scratch again. So I was on the phone the other day with someone who had passed their exam 10 years ago, who's working in the industry, who already went through a very surprising job loss at one point. The company she worked with was a very successful meeting planner for 8 to 10 years. Suddenly cut the whole department and outsourced everyone. And I know everyone knows someone who's gone through this if you haven't gone through it yourself. So she's landed on her feet and found a new job, relocated, very happy, very secure, very large company. And she says to me the other day, she's up for her second recertification. She got it 10 years ago. And she said, yeah, I don't think I'm going to renew. I don't think I'm going to recertify. I was like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Yeah, well, I really don't think I need it anymore. I'm like, please, please, please recertify again this year. In 5 years, if you don't think you need it, if you're out of the industry, let it go. But she's not even planning on leaving the industry. She just thinks she's far enough along in her career and old enough that she won't have to go through another job search. The reality is, we all may have to go through another job search. Even if you think you are secure, even if you're self-employed, you may suddenly decide you're going to go work for someone. Do not let your CMP go. If you are coming up for recertification anytime in the next couple of years and you think, yeah, no, I really don't think I'll do it, recertify one more time, and at the end of that 5 years, if you really aren't going back into the industry, if you choose to let it go, let it go. But don't make that decision lightly. Just some thoughts.